Recently, we brought you the incredible story of Emma, a Shiloh Shepherd who, while her dad was off on a business trip, slipped away from her dog sitter and was missing for a frightening 42 days. Well, miraculously, she was found and returned safely to her very grateful dad. I mean, look how happy they both are now. Many people played a part in Emma's joyful recovery, but one group in particular needs to be singled out: the Connecticut Doggone Recovery Volunteers. Every dog owner needs to know about this group and their work.
Oh, I know. We try to keep getting the word out there for people. We're an all-volunteer organization. This is our passion. This is what we like doing. And we got volunteers all over the state. So we're trying to let more and more people know that we're here and we're willing to help.
You know, people don't want to think their dog is going to go missing. But when that happens and you're there, thankfully, how do you help?
We do a consult with them. So we assess what happened. How did the dog go missing? What's the temperament of the dog? The circumstances we're looking at, because it could be anything from the dog wandered off, it ran due to fireworks, it was stolen, is the dog wearing a collar and tags. From the information we get from our initial consult and assessment helps us determine our first steps. Most of our interventions, we're going to include the animal control, because if someone finds a dog or spots a dog, a lot of times they're going to call animal control to see if that dog is missing. So we have a great relationship with the animal control officers here in this state, and we work together with them all the time. It's about getting the dog home. From there, a lot of times we have to put up posters. So we'll talk to the owners about best posters to make, which are 11 by 17. They're huge. It has few words on them. Lost dog on the top, picture of the dog, phone number underneath it. And then what we do is we put them on a neon poster board behind them, bright colors like lime green, yellow, orange, and we put them up on telephone poles. We curve them around the pole and position them so that people in their cars can see them. Depending on the dog, we'll go out anywhere from a 2 to a 5 mile radius usually. And that gets us a lot of calls of sightings.
You also have a trap which is behind you and some really great smelling things that you put out that also helps to assist.
Once we have an area where we know the dog is, we'll either do a feeding station and a camera to get the dog coming back to the area, or in like the case with Bandit, what we did is we knew where the dog was, so we set something like this up. We lead a scent trail. You can see down here we have bacon grease and we have liquid smoke, and we'll use food and infuse this into the ground. And on the trip plate, we cover that with dried leaves or whatever natural covering is from the area, and we put food leading in and food behind the trip plate. When the dog steps on the trip plate, door shuts.
And you also have the use of a drone.
I got thermal imaging. It actually could switch between what's known as IR, which is infrared, which is your thermal imaging, visible, which is what the naked eye is seeing, and I have something called MSX, which is a blend of the two. And when you're flying, it kind of outlines things for you to help you to better distinguish what it is.
Robin, I know that John mentioned you because you were so helpful along with the whole group. You're the first person that he contacted about Emma.
Yeah, I started working with John right after the day after the dog went missing. And I met John, helped him start putting up posters, and we were thinking, okay, it's going to be a couple of days and we're going to find Emma. And the story continued for 41 days.
And it's amazing because you were there at the beginning and at the end when she was finally captured.
When Emma was captured by the police, she was put in the animal control vehicle and brought to a vet's office. I actually got there a little before John, and I was talking to her and I said, Emma, your dad's coming, John is coming. And I could see the light go on in her eyes a little bit. And this poor dog was sitting in the cage with her head hunched. And when I said that, it was like she perked up a little bit. And then when John came and he put his hands on her coat and was petting her and said, honey, you know me, this is your dad, this is John. And then her eyes lit up, and it was like she came back. From being in that lost feral mode, she came back. It was a very touching moment.
And this has so many levels for you because this is how you got involved with the group. Your own dog went missing.
Yeah, my little boy here, this little Jesse guy, I adopted him back in June, and I had him for 2 days. My husband had put him outside on a tie-out and went inside for a second to get his phone or something, came back out, and the dog was nowhere to be found. He He had slipped his collar, one of those statistics that we have, how dogs go missing, because I didn't have the right kind of collar on him. He was running all around Stamford. I live near exit 34 of the Merritt. I started posting on Facebook, and somebody had put on one of the sites, you need to contact Connecticut Doggone Recovery. I put a request in online. Carol called me. She drove down from Meriden to my house in Stamford on Father's Day with this kennel trap, set it up in my yard, set the camera so it was pointing toward the trap. We baited it, and then I got a phone call at 1 in the morning. Carol said, your dog's in the trap. And I said, oh my gosh. So she had prepped us what to do, because you need to calm the dog down. You need to get leashes secured on the neck before you extract the dog. It was a miracle. He could have gotten hit so many times because I live off of Long Ridge Road, which is a very busy road. So thankful to have the help.
And now you're a volunteer with the group and you're giving back.
Yep, I had to pay it forward because I was so unbelievably grateful.
You must feel really good when you're there and the dog is found and the owner is just over the moon.
It's the best. It's the best to see it. I mean, oftentimes what happens is we have cameras on our traps, and all of us in our lead group can watch those cameras, and sometimes we're sitting on our chat and we're watching a dog that's closing in on a trap, and we're all chatting to each other and saying, the dog is coming, the dog is coming. And we're watching it go right in.
Well, thank you for all you do.
Oh, thank you very much. And thank you for having us.
This has been Lauren's Crazy Pet Show. Thank you so much for joining us.